Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today again, I'm still following up with my documentary where we're going to talk about our self-destruction. Our self-destruction, which means like how we came up with war. Some supplies that used to be some image to explain something and how we use them as a weapon. The same way that the falling of the angels that showed the human astronomy and to build weapons. So now, how it is when we see the sword or a knife, it was like a design to explain people how we're gonna build an engine. The handle of a knife or a sword, you can see they have like rubies. So it's means like when those visitors first landed on Earth by accident, and then they started to see the bird flying, and then they observed the nature, and then they discovered like they cannot leave Earth without having something with wings. So now, by the design, most people discovered the leftover of their living. Then they made them real. So now, by shaping, they took stones. They started with stones. Then after that, they came up with metals, and then now it's turned against them as weapon. So it used to be like some spaceship that land on Earth, and then those people didn't want to stay, and then they organized themselves, and then they instruct one each other how to make something to make them leave. So now you can see the very far jets when they cross the air, and then they left a line, a cloud line in the back. So this is the same example. Like the jet is where everybody stay, and the back is like the turbojet. So now, when you see a sword and a knife, it doesn't mean like you use it against somebody. It means like some people left a certain design that archaeologists discovered, and they're trying to understand what it was. They turn against them as a weapon. Now, what happened? We have a lot of war. I remember my hometown. Most of my family, they used to have something that they accused. They call it a blood sugar. So how it's happened? How it's occurred? So now, on my judgment, I said, okay, when you go to the war or when you have a certain event, we build vehicles, and then we have like AC and DC, alternative current and direct current. So now this alternative current, what we call like the batteries, when it started to be used from 1 years until 5 years, it became an acid. It's a poison, but it used to be a liquid. So now that acid, when it goes to your clothes like this one, is gonna mess it up. It's not gonna repair no more. If you put your finger on it like this, it's gone away. So now when they do events, they burn cars. They never realize that the batteries is gonna explode and that liquid, the acid, gonna go over the soil. So now water is not gonna clean it out. The more that you put water, the more it's enlarged over the tissue. So now when they do war, when they do event and then destroy those type of properties, of course the battery spread on the ground. So now the same effect that happened with the tissue, with the materials, that's the same thing that happened with your skin tissue. So now them, when they finish to go to the war and then they occupy the place where they already destroyed jets, helicopters, armory tank, vehicles, armory vehicles. So now they occupied it and then they made their base. They camped there. Sometimes they play soccer, sometimes they play basketball, sometimes they play baseball, and then they relax themselves like they were home. And then this is how now they started to have a blood sugar in their leg. That's why you see it's always start from the leg. So now when they cut their nails and then they cut the tissue and then it's never cured. So the acid already occupied most of the part of the leg. So now the more that they cut to find a cure, the doctor said you have to cut it, it's infected. They call it diabetic in the beginning, but when you cut it, it's our blood sugar. The more that you cut it, the more the acid get inside of your bones, of your flesh and everything, and until all your leg is gone. So which means like you don't kill that with water like job. We kill them with ashes. That's why I always got some ashes with me. Because I know that some places they need sand after they finish the occupied places and then they need sand to do construction or whatever. They can spread it everywhere. Now, by the time, for example, Ukraine claimed victory from destroying some tank for Russia, some fighter jets in the air, some helicopter, they don't carry no mask. What happened? Does acid explode and it spread all over the area? So you may claim victory, but sometimes victory can betray you. This is my researches. And then I don't tell you not to do war. I don't tell you not to express your rights of territory or autonomy. I don't tell you that. But only one thing I can tell you is just be careful when you want to claim something outside. Our military is just like a mailman. It's a messenger. We travel, we build materials and supplies to protect us from one region to another region from a far travel survivor. Sometimes we land in the forest, we can find any bad animals, and then we carry something that can help us to survive against them before the message arrived. But we're not that animal. That was astronaut Cosmonaut Z, animated by Jackie Anikolovich, monitored by Eclipse. Thank you.